Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff to beating the game. For those watching for the first time, this will look a bit different to a normal walkthrough. It's designed to show just the essentials so that you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. I won't talk about fighting specific enemies unless they're very difficult, but I will show you where to go and what to do. Today we're playing Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System, which is an excellent platformer. It's based on the Genesis version, which came first, but is very unique. Now the reason we're doing a walkthrough today is because the full completion of this game is actually pretty complex. If you're familiar with Sonic games, you'll know that you collect all the emeralds to get the best ending. But to get the best ending in this game with the maximum special bonus, you actually have to do a lot more. Getting all the emeralds will get you the best ending, but then there's all of these other things you can try and do on top of that. So what we're looking at is all 6 emeralds, that'll get us 50,000 points. All 18 lives, that's 1 in each level, is another 50,000 points. Please note that special stages don't count towards that. You have to actually play all 8 special stages though and complete them. You have to not lose a life at all, and then if you complete all the above you'll get another 200,000 points. So realistically, if you get all the emeralds, you will get the best ending, but then if you do all of these things on the checklist, you'll get that 500,000 point special bonus in total, and that's considered the full completion method to beating this game. That's what we're going to be looking at today. And let's make a start. So you'll click start on the title screen and get into a level. Fairly standard controls here, so you'll use your left and right buttons to move left and right. You can jump with either of the 2 face buttons on the Master System controller, and you can hold down to roll. So in the level we're going to be trying to collect 50 rings. The reason for that is we need 50 rings to get to our first special stage. So grab pretty much all the rings you see and you try not to take any damage on the enemies. I will be speeding through some repetitive sections, but we roll off this slope here and we're going to see our first hidden extra life, and that's just up in the tree coming up shortly. So here's the extra life in here, jump underneath that and then grab it. For the rest of the level it really is just collecting 50 rings and making it to the end. Now you'll know you got the special stage if you get an exclamation mark on this signpost, so we got that, that's great news. That brings us into the special stage. All you have to do here is try and get to the end before the time runs out. So a little bit about the springs here. Different coloured springs will bounce you different heights. The green ones bounce you the highest, and the orange ones also bounce you pretty high. So I am getting the continue here, but you don't need to do that to fully complete the game with maximum special bonus. Alright, we're going to make it through. Get those bounces off the big springs, and you should have plenty of time to spare here. Alright, now we're done that level, we're in Green Hill 2. So again, there'll be a hidden extra life in this level. We're going to try and get 50 rings to go to the special stage, but we'll see our first Chaos Emerald as well. So let's have a look at what that looks like. If you go left in this tunnel, you get a bubble, and that's really useful for maximum special bonus playthroughs. Because you want 50 rings at the end of each level, you really can't take any damage. Here's our extra life, and then we're going to roll out here. Okay, so the Chaos Emerald is up here, and you want to take a left through this tunnel. And then basically just roll through this crab, fall down and you'll get it. Here it is. Just a reminder that if you do die at any point in this playthrough, you won't get the maximum special bonus. So if you're intending to get that, you want to make sure that you don't have any deaths. It's really important to keep a bubble on you at all times where you can, because that gives you an extra hit, even in those boss levels. So again, just going through this level, grabbing 50 rings, and if you've got all 50 rings, you'll notice that the signpost has an exclamation mark. That's our next special stage. Again, the exact same format for this special stage, you just have to get to the end without running out of time. So each special stage does have a continue and an extra life in it. Given that you're trying not to die when you're getting maximum special bonus, the extra lives won't help that much, because you can't really use any of them. But it's there if you're having trouble beating the game. You can go to these special stages just to get a bit more. Okay, so we're up to Green Hill Zone 3 now, and this is going to be our first boss level. Boss levels will always have an extra life. That down there is a spike pit, but the next one is where the extra life is. There we go. So the bubble here is going to be really helpful, because if we take a damage on the boss, that would be bad because we die. The boss is going to go back and forth. You can't hit him while he's flying up the top there, but when he comes down you can get 7 hits in out of the 8 that you need to beat him. There we go. That was only 6 unfortunately, but you can try and hit him up there. You You can actually land a hit on him on that second phase, and then you beat this boss. Alright. And that brings us to the end of Green Hill Zone, so yeah, we've got a life in each level plus an emerald. There will be an emerald coming up in this zone, so don't miss it. Again, we're making sure we get 50 rings to get to that special stage. So these bridges full, make sure that you get out in time, and then there's these seesaw things that can bounce you up. Each consecutive bounce on this seesaw is higher, so if you're not getting enough height on the first bounce, then just wait for your second bounce and you'll make it through. Alright, going through, getting our 50 rings, and we're going to come across our extra life here now. So this seesaw brings us to the extra life, and you're going to bounce up and hit that there. Then the emerald is right after. We have a falling bridge here. You're going to fall off the left piece of the bridge, wait a little bit, then jump off to the emerald. If you do miss that, you can actually use some of the later bridge pieces to get it. It's just a little bit more difficult. Alright, so make sure you got 50 rings before you finish the level, and then we're going to our next special stage. Alright, here we go. Now this one's quite tricky. You get bounced back a lot, so you want to take it very slowly through this special stage. You will get used to it though, and you should be able to make it before the time's out. Also a reminder, if you do run out of time, you won't be able to finish the game with maximum special bonus. So if that happens, you're going to have to reset. It's actually a very difficult task beating the game max special bonus, but with enough practice you'll be able to get it. And there we go. Next is Bridge 2, and this is actually an auto-scroller, so I'll zip through this very quickly. The only thing you need to make sure of is that you come out with 50 rings and that you grab the extra life. I will stop and show where the extra life is. Okay, so extra life is down here. You want to jump down off this bridge, and then it's in the water there. You can hold down and duck with Sonic, and then the camera will scroll down after a little bit, and that can show you where the extra life is if you're not confident jumping down without seeing. Anyway, we're just going to go through the rest of the zone. This zone is 2 minutes, so it's quite a long time. Make sure you have 50 rings at the end, and then we'll make it through to the next special stage. Alright, this special stage is just a full, so you want to try not to hit things that are going to bounce you back up, and you'll make it down eventually. Next is Bridge 3. So the extra life is right behind you at the start, so just take a left as soon as you get in here and you'll see it. Easiest way to kill this boss is get 4 hits on him on the first phase, so wait to see which side he comes up on. It's based on luck, so he will come up on a different side each time. You want to get 4 hits in with very big jumps and then another 4 afterwards. If you stay right in the middle of him, he won't hit you with the bullets, so this is a really easy boss once you know what you're doing. Just make sure you got pretty quick reaction times, because if your jump is too late, then on that 4th hit you'll hit the water and die instead of hitting the boss. But that's all the Bridge Zone. Now we're moving on to Jungle Zone. Jungle Zone 1 has the first emerald, the emerald for this zone, so keep your eye out for that. Make sure you get 50 rings as well. There's a bubble down here if you need it, just in case you've run out of one, and then the extra life is just up in this section. So climb up this waterfall, and then you'll grab that life. If you do fall down, you can get back up onto these platforms. If you jump onto the middle one with enough speed, you'll make it up, so just be aware of that. Now the emerald here is quite easy to miss, so you're going to have to be really careful. We're going to jump across this waterfall here, and then the emerald's kind of underneath where we are right now. So we fall down on this waterfall, so we can jump across here, and then we can jump all the way back across. You can use that log up there to help you make the gap across, or you can just do a very big jump like I've done, and then you'll get onto this rolling log kind of thing. Roll it all the way to the left and you'll grab the emerald, and then roll it all the way to the right again. You can just keep rolling right here. You'll get down to this section, and then that's pretty much the level done. Just a few more things before the end of it. You gotta be really careful not to build up too much speed on this ramp coming up. You might be very tempted to roll down it and hold right, but if you do that, you can often be in trouble. You can see how quick Sonic goes, so I've slowed him down there. Alright, and that's Jungle 1. Just a quick note, make sure you're keeping track of the emeralds as you're going through this walkthrough. You should have 3 emeralds at this point. It's 1 emerald per zone. Alright, now these special stages are now repeating from the first one. So this is a duplicate of the first special stage with the difference of these pink bumpers going back and forth. So it's like a harder version of the first special stage. And we'll see 8 special stages in total in this game. So there's the 4 that we've seen already, plus the 4 repeats, and then that'll be it. So the last 2 zones, actually, you can't get to special stages from them. Now, Jungle Zone 2 is really tricky because the camera won't scroll down. So you'll see it zipping up whenever I step on a platform. If I hit the bottom of the screen now, I'll die, no matter how high up the waterfall I get. That's a bit different on the Game Gear version of this game, but with the Master System version, it's a bit harder. So make sure you do land on platforms and let the camera scroll up to you, because otherwise you can actually outrun it and it's a bit awkward to maneuver yourself. So just the extra life on this level, but rings are very scarce, so make sure you grab all the rings that you come across, because it's very easy to not have enough by the end of it. Okay, jumping up here. There's another bubble to the left there if you did need it. Then we're going to jump up here. There's a ring box to our left. Some more rings here. And then the extra life is coming up shortly. Alright, extra life is here. Now there's a spring that springs you to the right, so you probably want to jump on top of that life and bounce off it to be extra safe. Alright, climbing up the waterfall, and we're at the end of the level. So, coming up is the first really difficult boss in the game, just after this special stage. So this is just going to be a duplicate of special stage 2, just with those pink bumpers. I'll zip through it pretty quickly. Again, remember, you don't actually have to get the lives and continues if you don't want to. Alright, extra life in Jungle Zone 3. So you want to go right here down into this water, and there's the life there. Very easy to miss that one. So with this boss, he's going to drop cannonballs on you. You pretty much want to get 1 or 2 hits in, so probably 1 before the cannonball drop and 1 after the cannonball drop. So 1 before, 1 after on his way back, and that's the safest way to do it. Now, I almost died there because, yeah, I almost hit that cannonball. So take your time with this. It's very easy to die, so just go slowly. Maybe even 1 hit per cannonball if you're nervous, because there's not really a time limit on this boss. And again, you want to be taking the bubble in with you, because that'll help and give you an extra hit. There's no rings in boss levels, so it is pretty difficult. Alright, next is Labyrinth. This is underwater. One key piece of advice, when you're underwater, you can roll to build up speed off a ledge, and here I've got a lot of speed coming into the water. If you hold the right button when you hit the water, you'll snap to a very slow speed, but if you don't hold the direction, you'll actually retain your speed for a little bit. So whenever you come into water, you might want to not hold the right button right away. Just a little trick to speed yourself up. Now these things coming out of the ground are bubbles, and they will give you more air. So it's probably good to wait for a big bubble on each one of those, and then get some air so that you don't die. So you can see me rolling off ledges to go pretty quickly. That's always useful in this level. There's a bubble here that you can get if you need it. Now with these spikes, they're pretty likely to hit you, and when you take damage in this game, well, hopefully you're not taking damage, but you'll get hit away from whatever direction you're facing. So, for example, there's an enemy kind of just up here, and if you turn to the left just before you hit that enemy, you'll get hit to the right, which actually puts you past the enemy. So that's a nice little way to skip it. But what I'll show you here is the intended way. So the enemy will fire off the projectiles there. You go back down to unload them, and then you just spin through the enemy. Alright. Another little note with rings here, be sure not to get over 100 rings, otherwise it'll loop back around to 0 and you actually won't get the special stage. So I'm just getting these last few here to make sure. Just make sure that I have enough rings to hit that special stage. There's another bubble up there if you want it. Alright, and that's 50 rings, and then this ring box is actually going to turn into the extra life. So hit the switch and it'll turn into it. But yeah, that's very easy to miss, so make sure you don't actually get that ring box first, otherwise you won't get your max special bonus. Alright, here's second to last special stage. It's just a duplicate of number 3, just with those spinny platforms. And we're through to the end, and then we're into Labyrinth 2. This level's pretty tight on rings, so you want to follow the paths I take and grab all the rings you can. So there's some up here. There's rings and a bubble. Really, really important to have that bubble if you don't have one yet. Now we'll see why the bubble's really important when we get into the next level, but it's nearly impossible to do the next level without a bubble. Alright, we're going to go left here because this is where the extra life is. Make sure you grab a bubble before you come down here because it's really tight on air. Alright, now these platforms will rise up and push you into the spikes, so you got to be careful of that. And here's the extra life. We just zip back around and ride this platform up. You can see I grabbed a bubble and now I've only got about 1 second of air left before I get the next bubble. It's a really tight window. Alright. Again, if you feel like you're going to get hit, press left and then it'll hit you to the right. So it won't be as bad if it hits you, but obviously try not to get hit at this point. Those little down arrow boxes are checkpoints, so if you do want to just play through this game normally, you want to hit all those so that when you die, you'll come back to those spots. Alright, now coming up we got the Chaos Emerald, and that kind of relies on the invincibility box up there. So we're going to go up there and grab that. So you can get this Chaos Emerald without the invincibility box, just by taking damage. But the game developers have put it inside some spikes. So invincibility is the intended way to get it. You bring the invincibility all the way up here, and then you run to the left, and it'll be in the spikes, so it's very easy to miss. There it is, Chaos Emerald. And that should be the 4th one that you've got so far. And we're just going to go to the very last special stage, make sure that you get through it. It's just the same as number 4 with those pink bumper things. Alright, now we're in Labyrinth 3. So the extra life here is the trickiest one in the game. You want to ride the spring up and to the left. Now you'll see instantly why this is so difficult. Check out all these spikes. And this is pretty much why I said you want the bubble coming into this level, because you have to get the extra life to get max special bonus. And if you get hit by the spikes, you would die if you didn't have a bubble. Now, these spikes here are awful. So what I'd suggest is, if you don't have a bubble, you've got to run at full speed and try and get a jump just out from under those last spikes. And there's a little ledge there to make it even harder for you. But if you do have a bubble, you can just face left and jump straight into the spikes. So just go right where I am now, face left and just jump. The spikes will hit you to the right because you're facing left and you'll get out of here unscathed. So yeah, using the bubble and taking damage is a good strategy here. Now with this boss, you'll see me hit him in the middle. I do not recommend that. Don't do that. What you want to do is wait for him to come down, go on the left side of him here, and you can get 3 hits in, or if you're feeling a bit nervous, just get 2 hits in. And then he'll fire that to the left. You want him to fire it to the left because then it gets off screen really quickly, you don't have to worry about it. If you're to the left of him, he'll fire it left. If you're to the right of him, he'll fire it right. So same strategy, you just want to go on the right side of him here. Get in, you can get 3, but 2 if you're nervous. And then I would not hit him in the middle. If you hit him in the middle, it's really hard to get a high bounce off of him and you'll often die. So that's only if you're like speedrunning this game or something you'd want to do that. Alright, next up is Scrap Brain, and we actually don't have to get 50 rings in these levels anymore. Because we've done all the special stages. And you actually can't get to special stages from here. You literally just run right in this level. The extra life's on this conveyor belt and we get through it. Here, there's a little switch. You hit the switch, you open the door. And then we run right and we're done. Scrap Brain 2 is a big maze though, it's very complicated. So you want to run right into this section and then just climb up these conveyor belts here. Now, if you like using glitches, what you can do is just inch your way off this platform and try and get Sonic stuck in the wall. And then he'll zip out to the left and grab the life really quickly. But I'm going to show you the intended way to do this. So there's the life there, that's a one-way door. You want to go up first. Now you want to jump past the first couple pits here. And then drop down this one. This is the Chaos Emerald. So it's not there, it's here, which is on the right. Now, you want to go up here to this door puzzle. So you'll press a switch here. And that switch basically closes the right door and opens the left door. And we want the right door closed and the left door open when we do this. So now we've hit that switch, we're all good. Because basically, if both doors are open, we can walk straight through there to the end of the level. But because you can only have one open at a time, you have to come in through the top of that room, which sort of puts you in between the doors. So if the left door's open, that's the way to the end of the level. You can also get through this door to the extra life by rolling really fast there, but it's really inconsistent. What you want to do to get the extra life is basically drop down here and then just go left. And that brings you straight to the life. It's pretty easy to get, but you just have to know how to get it. Now, we're going to go back into that same room we dropped down before. And then we're going to... You can zigzag down this path. So zigzag, 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 zigzag. But when you get to this bit, which has very narrow hallways after this zigzag, you want to just jump straight across. And then we're going to jump through. This is a bit with the two doors before. See how the left door is open and the right door is closed? That's what we want. Now, if the right door is open here, you want to hit that switch and come back up here again. Fun fact, you can actually die and you'll respawn back up the top there, but obviously we're trying not to die because we're getting max special bonus. Alright, and that's Scrap Brain 2. Probably the most complicated level in this game. Alright, Scrap Brain 3, you literally just run to the end. I'll show you where the extra life is. So you want to go down, right, up, left, up, right, up, right. Now, if you're just playing the game normally, you'd go left here, but now you're going to go right to the extra life. So we're going to drop down, grab the extra life, and then we're sort of back to that earlier bit of the maze. So we're going to go up, left, up, right, up, left, and that'll bring us to the end of the level. Don't hit this switch you see here. That'll actually close the door ahead of you. So we just go up through here. And you're going to chase Robotnik. Yeah, you'll stand on this platform and go up to Skybase. As a kid, I always thought the platform was coming back down for Tails, even though Tails wasn't invented yet. Just a cool little feature that it does. Alright, here's Skybase. So, no emerald in this level, just an extra life, so keep your eye out for that. Alright, so the extra life is coming up shortly. You have to drop down to get it. Similar to Bridge 2, you can't see it from above. It's after this cannon here, and the extra life's just down there. Again, you can duck down and see it if you want. Alright. So these platforms will ride forward when you're on them. So you want to ride them to the end. Now, if you're about to hit the lightning, just jump a bunch of times, because when you jump, it will stop the platform from moving. So that's a little strategy you can use. Now, Skybase 2 is really, really hard if you do it the intended way, but actually getting the emerald in the next level makes the level a heck of a lot easier. So we're going to get into the level, and immediately you want to jump off the platform to the left, which looks like you're going to die, but you're not. There it is. Alright, so we're going to ride this all the way to the right. Then on our next one, we're going to jump straight up to get to the extra life. There it is. And then we're going to jump off to the right here and ride these all the way out to the emerald. These platforms are the only way to get to the emerald because it puts us under this chain just up here, and you can't get under the chain any other way. So the emerald's here, that's how you get it. And then you just go to the left, and that brings you to the end of the level. Alright. Now, we're coming up to the last boss here. Now, you'll know if you've done everything right because you've got 6 emeralds there. And when you get into this level, you should see an extra life right there if you've got all the other extra lives. If you've missed one along the way, that extra life won't be there. The only thing that you can't check easily is the special stages, but we'll see that in a sec when we get the max special bonus. Alright, so roll down here, jump into the boss fight. You can clip into the glass and get a few free hits in on him. Otherwise, just wait for the lightning to come all the way to the left, run to the right, hit him once, and then run back to the left. Now that ball up the top right is charging, so if that fires, you got to wait for that as well. So this is what the pattern looks like at the start of the fight, and then it swaps halfway through. So you really need to be wary of when the laser swaps, because it'll mess you up if you're not expecting it. So it's lasering all the way to the left now, and then eventually it'll change to lasering on a rhythm. So we're going to hit him here, and see now it's stopped. And it's lasering on a rhythm now. So you'll see it go like on, off, rhythmically. So that's the timing you're looking for when it changes. Don't rush this fight. If you're in that left corner, you're completely safe, so there's no reason to take more time than you need. This boss takes 12 hits as well, so use that in your forward planning. You want to just jump on the teleporter. You can actually beat Robotnik, it's kind of funny. But yeah, when you jump on that, you're beating the game. So we'll see the best ending because we got all 6 emeralds, and then we'll have a special bonus coming up shortly. That should say 500,000 points if you've done everything right. Now, realistically, most people playing this game will either just finish the game or just finish the game with emeralds. But it's really fun to do this little challenge run and get the special bonus because it shows kind of how much depth this game has to it. So if you got all the emeralds, you'll see Sonic hold them, and then this big gas plume above the island will go away. It's a very nice environmental message. and then all your bonuses will tick down. So there's Chaos Emeralds. How many extra lives do we have left? And we've got our special bonus, 500,000 points. So we've done everything right. And just as a reminder, all those things that we did were just on the screen there. And that's pretty much all for this game. This is a really good version of Sonic 1 and has a lot of unique things over the Genesis version, so definitely worth checking out. If you enjoyed this content, a subscription to the channel is always appreciated, and I have lots of other walkthroughs on here. That's all for me, and thanks for watching.